Hey, NewsNation's Chris Cuomo here. Now, on our show, I've made a commitment to you that we're going to give you the stories that matter. We're going to give it to you straight. We're also going to stay on those stories because that is rare in this business. It's rare in this world. That's where this podcast comes in. Let's get after it. All right, here's your food for thought. Chefed up not by the rogue renegade here, but by Mr. Jon Stewart, Mr. Popular, the man beloved by the left and many independents as well. After 9 years away, what did he think mattered most to tell you? This.
They are the oldest people ever to run for president, breaking by only 4 years the record that they set. Now, Democrats will say that any criticism like this, especially of Biden, is unfair.
The president was in front of and on top of it all, coordinating and directing leaders who are in charge of America's national security, not to mention our allies around the globe.
Did anyone film that? When it comes to Republicans, they've got a different strategy for their 77-year-old candidate.
Well, first of all, Donald Trump is not an old man.
He's an old man. He is objectively an old man on a human scale. Okay. Now, here's the truth of the humor. More than 2/3 of you think the same thing, okay? You think that you don't want either of these two men. I've never seen a stat like that of the two presumptive nominees. Over 8 in 10 of you say Biden's just too old. Almost as many, like 6+ out of 10, think the same thing about Trump. So Stewart's not wrong. So why is he taking heat? I'll tell you why. Because we are all still caught in the game of two-party poison politics, and you gotta take a side. And Stewart isn't taking one. So people get angry. Well, he's not taking one completely. He clearly does not see the two men as equal propositions as president. I want to listen to you explain, and listen to the last part especially. Here. Joe Biden isn't Donald Trump. He hasn't been indicted as many times, hasn't had as many fraudulent businesses, or been convicted in a civil trial for sexual assault, or been ordered to pay defamation and had his charities disbanded, or stiffed a shit ton of blue-collar tradesmen he'd hired. We're not suggesting neither man is vibrant, productive, or even capable. But they're both stretching the limits of being able to handle the toughest job in the world. What's crazy is thinking that we're the ones, as voters, who must silence concerns and criticisms. It is the candidate's job to assuage concerns, not the voter's job not to mention them.
Yes. The last part. Now, I don't agree with his explanation of it, okay? But it's the last part that matters, all right? It's no surprise that Stewart prefers Biden if he's got to drink weak tea at all. The question is, why does he have to drink weak tea? Why do you have to drink weak tea? Why do you owe loyalty to the left or to the right? Why are you about a party more than you are about your nation and your own interests? It is not supposed to work this way. Not in the Constitution, not in federal law, not in political philosophy of our greatest leaders who all warned against exactly this. Since when is the way it's supposed to work that we, the people, suck it up so the parties can profit? What? See, that's what he's saying about the crazy part. You're not supposed to have to suppress your concerns. It's supposed to be all about your concerns. You're not supposed to serve their interests. They're supposed to serve your interests. And it doesn't mean just channeling your anger. That is cheap and easy. It is about changing your anger, changing how you feel by acting on your concerns. They are supposed to act, to make things happen, not say, I promise not to act because the other side is so scary, I'll stop them. That's BS. They are asking for our power. They have no right to it, nor do they have a right to make it all about them, but we've allowed it. So maybe Stewart's legion of fans will start to question why they're allowing themselves to be played. Now, It's not a great indication here. I was shocked this didn't get more buzz. You know, the man is back, right? Beloved. He's got huge fans. I hear he doesn't like me. But that doesn't change my compliment of what he's able to do. By the way, not liking me is a low bar, right? He's on a long line. But there's one tweak in there, okay? That it's not just that we have to suppress our criticisms. No, it's that we're allowing ourselves to be co-opted by something that's not really about us anymore. It's just about those in the established power sectors. When we say it's got to change, what do they say? No, not this time. Now, maybe next time. But this election's too important. This is a once in a generation. This one's just too big. It's existential. It's too dangerous. Every time. And every time you say that one is not as bad as the other as a rationale, that is a decision you make nowhere else in your life. Nowhere else do you say, I'm going to pick the less sucky one. Never. Why do we do it here? The game. And the players making us give away our franchise and our power to a system that only works for them. That is how we wound up here. With more people in America saying they are neither Democrat nor Republican than those who say they are either. And yet the system caters to the few. In part, minority voices that are magnified by social media, and then the media, including me, magnify the fringe as if they were a proxy for you. Twitter is not reality. Social media is filled with antagonism and poison. And yes, there's truth, and yes, there's reality, and yes, there's something worthwhile, but it is often drowned out. Not by the many, but by the few. So when will the system reflect what you want? You do not need Jon Stewart, as smart, as witty, as talented as he is, to answer that question for you. And as amusing as his satire can be, nothing that the game is doing to us is funny. Nor is this state of our constitutional democracy a joke or a laughing matter. Maybe people will start seeing the real betrayal now that he's saying the quiet part out loud. Maybe you don't see the parties as the same, but they are in the same game. And that is what has to change. This is Chris Cuomo. Get my podcast, Let's Get After It, at newsnationnow.com or wherever you get podcasts.